Praise the Lord. Good morning. About to blast off and take off on my Sunday morning, and I might as well. You can't send a stunt double to go through what you're going to go through just as much as you can't send a stunt double to blast off for you. So this won't take long. I'm just absolutely just flabbergasted by people who have something to say about every single subject matter, every single occupation. You got something to say about spirituality. You got something to say about religion. You got something to say about politics. You got something to say about welding. You a man. You got something to say about OBGYN stuff. It's a shame. And it's beyond vanity. And it's actual inert stupidity to have something to say about everything. Well, I got my opinion. No, you got a hole in your face, and every time you got two holes that horrible, nasty, grotesque things can come out of, and we all know what those two holes are, and one of them is on your face. But seriously though, to have something to say, something nasty to say, to have an opinion. We all have an opinion, but to not know when to regulate, not know when to disseminate, not know when to be discriminate, not know when to be just decent, and you got something to say about everything in your life, in your wife's life, your girlfriend's life, your boyfriend's life, your children's life, your ex-husband's life, your ex-wife's life. You got something to say about every single issue that arises. What gets me is that most people who always got some advice to give, a lot of people give advice, but they don't take advice. A lot of people, listen to me, if you can give advice and not take advice, something is wrong with you as I leave this P. But it's a shame. It's an emotional, mental, parental, marital, psychological pandemic, and it's just sad. And I mean, you're a loose cannon. It's just sad to have something to say about everything, not every other thing. Somebody say something about President Trump, you got something to say. Somebody say something about President Bush, you got something to say. President Obama, you got something to say. Hillary Clinton, you got something to say. AOC, you got something to say. Nancy Pelosi, you got something to say. School, you got something to say. College, you got something to say. The weather, you got something to say. Climate change, you got something to say. But can't nobody tell you nothing. You got an opinion about everything. Yet, you haven't solved any problems of the world. You got something to say about everything. Yet, your name's still not in lights. Yet, you still don't have a library named after your street. Yet, you still running your mouth. Yet, you still got your same old problems. Yet, you still haphazard and whimsical as I leave this P. And I'm not putting anybody down. I'm pointing out a behavior as much as I'm pointing out a mindset, a heart set, and a particular or type or kind of person. To have something to say about every subject matter. To have something to say about every subject that matters, and you have no schooling in it, no experience in it. I mean, it's your opinion, but it's nothing more than just a big old hole in your face, and everything coming out of that hole in your face is not wise. It's not strong. It's not helping anyone. It's probably impending and impairing. And I mean, I don't know what else to say, but you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Can't nobody tell you nothing or anything. You're unteachable, but yet you got something to say about every subject, everyone, everything that matters. As I leave this alone, but I don't see your name in lights. I don't see them streets named after you. I don't see any United Nations policies. I don't see any legal policies. I don't see any policies or bills generated by your thoughts or opinions or comments. As I leave this alone, it's a shame when you have no regulator, no governor. And I hear you. I can say anything I want to. Yep, you sure can. And that's why a lot of y'all are alone. I can say anything I want to. Yep, That's why you've been fired so many times from your job and in marriage and in relationships. You're undefeated in stupidity. My mom used to say you major in minor and you minor in major. As I leave this alone. It's a shame. It is when you can open your mouth about stuff you don't know nothing about. It's a shame when you got something to say about everything. A lot of y'all see posts and shares. You have no experience in it. Secular, vocational. You're degreed in nothing but just running off and just having something to say. You ought to be tired by now. You got something to say about everything. Your mind, your heart, your mouth, you ought to be tired by now. You got something to say about everything. Just a keyboard gangster. Or just a damn fool. I don't know. As I leave this alone. I'm not putting you down, but this needs to be pointed out. When you meet a know-it-all, let them know it all. I got one in the office. Anytime I want a question answered, I'll know where to go. Anytime I want to somebody take credit for my work, I'll know where to go. It don't bother me. But it's a shame when you are an adult. You have no governor. You have no regulator. You think you know it all. You'll say anything out your mouth. And I'm going to say again, if you can cuss your mom out, my mom is next. If you can cuss your wife out and call her everything, and then go in the office and be, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, hi, sweetie, yes, sweetie, and be kind at work, you fake. You can cuss your husband out and go crazy at home and then go to work. Yes, sir. No, sir. How you doing? You know, you fake. To go from hero to zero, it's an awful thing. Just like it's a beautiful thing, go from zero to hero. As I leave this alone. I'm not putting nobody down, but we really need to take this into account. There's a cause and there's an effect. But why you got something to say about everything. Talk about what you talk about. Know what you know about. Explain what you've lived through. Let your testimony be your testimony. Don't let dust grow on your testimony. Don't let dust gather on your testimony. We all know how to say something when we say it. If you don't have experience in it, learn, gain. If you live through it, share your survival. But to have something to say about every single subject matter. Are you Jesus Jr.? Are you God the second? Or are you just proud and vain? Man, it's a shame to be thought a fool and you haven't even opened your mouth. It's even a further shame to open your mouth and to remove all doubt. I'm sorry. I had to do this. I pray I didn't offend. If this applies to me, so be it. I'll change. Please be patient with me. Charge it to my head and not to my heart. God is not through with me yet. I'm changing and seeking further change as I have changed. But again, as I leave you with this, you got something to say about everything. You haven't solved any political problems. You haven't solved any world problems. You haven't solved problems at your own house. But you got something to say about everything. Wisdom is the best way to go. Wisdom is knowing what to do with the intelligence that you have and using it properly. Common sense isn't so common, but I promise you, ignorance is contagious. Peace. 1.